wonder why he's alone. He doesn't have any friends. Someone who looks like that shouldn't show their face to the world. I went home, locked myself in a bathroom, and tried just to look through all the drawers to figure out a thing to take away the difference, which is my face.
Mm-hmm. You're an All-American in Division I wrestling. You have broken insane records. You're now a world champion. What did it cost to get to that point?
For me, my curse was Crouzon Syndrome. So here's the biggest thing. Realize that life is working for you, not to you. That is the biggest flex today, is confidence. Yeah. And it is so attractive. Because the doctor said you can't do contact sports, I said, oh yeah? Like, watch me.
To put this lightly, you're a very successful business person, right? You are in real estate. You've flipped over 200 houses. You have 100 plus rentals. How did you go from being a top world champion wrestler into business, and how did that shift happen? I'm Meg Carlisle, and this is How We Do. Our guest today, you guys, is the kind of person that you only ever meet once and you never, ever forget. Ben Kjar was born with a rare condition called Crouzon Syndrome. And by the time most kids were learning to ride a bike, he was already undergoing major surgeries just to survive. He grew up different. He looked different. He was told he would never live a normal life. He would never play sports, never fit in, and most importantly, never blend in. But Ben, he didn't come here to blend in. He came here to stand out. And that's exactly what he's done. He became Utah Valley University's first ever Division I wrestling All-American. He won over 120 career matches. He became a Greco-Roman world champion. He's built a multimillion-dollar real estate portfolio. He's traveled the world as a motivational speaker. He's a husband and a father to 3 amazing adopted children. And now his life story is being told in a full-length feature documentary called Stand Out. This episode is about grit. It's about faith. It's about redefining what's possible when the world tells you no. This is how Ben Kjar does adversity, fatherhood, winning, and life. Let's get into it. Ben, thank you so much for being here. It's early. It's super early. Have you ever done a podcast this early?
Never, but you know what? There's always a first time for everything, so this is exciting. I'm really, really honored to be here.
We're honored to have you. You're an inspiration, honestly. Like deep diving into you, tears were shed for me. You're an inspiration, so I'm really grateful you're here, and I can't wait to just jump into your life. So I want to start back at the beginning. I want to start like you as a baby. You have Crouzon Syndrome, and I want to know a little bit more about that and how that affected your life growing up physically and emotionally.
Yeah. They say Crouzon Syndrome. It's funny when people ask, they always think I'm saying crouton syndrome.
Amazing. So Crouzon so like crouton.
It's so funny.
Amazing.
And it's super rare. It affects the face and how it develops in the head, and specifically the mid part of the face doesn't advance at the same speed. And I would have numerous reconstructive facial surgeries, and what that entails is they would put a trach in my throat. They would cut my head open from ear to ear, take bones from different parts of my body, like my hip. And as they would put it in my face, in my head, they would just hope that it wouldn't reject what you're putting in there, right? And so they'd wire your mouth shut for weeks at a time, and you would swell all over, as you can imagine, just like a balloon, and you just pray that it actually works.
Right.
And the doctors would tell my parents that, like, prepare financially for those type of surgeries, because insurance will fight you all the time. But they said then financially and mentally prepare for the emotional side of the game of life, which they didn't know how to deal with.
How could you? What ages were you when you started getting surgeries?
So they recommend at the growth stages of life. So 1, when I was 5.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have it sometime in junior high after hitting puberty, but I elected not to,
Yeah.
which was surprising for everybody because I looked so much different. I had a massive underbite. I remember putting a finger in my mouth, biting down and not touching the finger.
Wow.
And so it would affect the way I would eat, the way I would breathe. It would definitely affect the way I would look. But I had big dreams.
Right.
And because the doctor said you can't do contact sports,
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah? Like, watch me.
Right.
Watch me do contact sports.
Right.
And I hope you're sitting on the sidelines while I'm doing it and
Right.
not just doing it.
Right.
Like, we're freaking going to thrive. So I hope you're front row. And that's why I elected not to have the surgery. And it was a life-altering thing. Eventually, at the age of 19, they said, Ben, you can't wait anymore. This is like detrimental to your health.
Yeah.
You have to have it. And so my last major surgery was about when I was 20 years old.
Wow. So I looked into Crouzon Syndrome a little bit, and it's, correct me if I'm wrong here, your bones and your skull prematurely fuse together and then grow, right? So it's the way your head and face grows is different, and that's why it's so detrimental, right? Is that?
Yeah, at a young age, if you don't expand the skull,
Yeah.
then there's potential brain damage that you
Right.
can have, yeah.
Oh, man. So in those early stages of life, did you feel like it was your job, your duty to be the strong one, to be strong, to like hold it all together?
That's a great question. I think you take it on yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you're by yourself at school and when you're by yourself in some public areas, there's nobody else there to fight for you automatically, like your parents or your siblings, right?
Yeah.
That know better and that are used to seeing that.
Right.
And so immediately, for me, I kind of just got a chip on my shoulder a little bit. I'm like, oh man, why do people have to be that way or
Right.
whatever? And I started getting angry at a young age. I'm like, why do I have to fight? Like, I asking God literally, like,
Why me?
why exactly?
Yeah.
Why do I have to fight? Like, why does this have to be the burden, the curse that I have? And why being born with it?
Right.
No preparation. And then it's not just one-time fix like a broken arm. It's
Right.
good. It's you have to go back to the knife again and again and again. And I was so tired of it in junior high. I'm like, screw that.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it.
Right.
This ain't going to control my life. But eventually my mentality changed from being a victim
Yeah.
to eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I literally fought back that way.
Right.
People called me out. I'm like, yeah, I called them out. But I realized through life that wasn't the way to live.
Yeah.
It's the way people live,
Right.
unfortunately, and it's the way we get to choose to live. I choose into a different type of mentality, which I call victor mentality
Yeah.
today, because I'm just a big fan of Jesus.
Right.
And if Jesus, and a lot of people will say they're Christians, and I've been a Christian my whole life, but a lot of my life I didn't live like it.
Totally.
And so, but Jesus literally fought back with kindness and love. And it was never an eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth. I mean, if you think about when he comes out of the Garden of Gethsemane and his 12 homies,
Yeah.
11 of them sleeping on the job.
Right.
One of them completely left the job
Yep.
and traded his job out for money.
Yeah.
The part that changed my life to make that paradigm shift, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be watching this, and we can talk all day, but if there's never a paradigm shift, if it's just a listen session, but if there's never a change in just like, holy cow, I see the world different, then it's just a moment.
Right.
But it's never like a real experience. The experience happened when I realized that one of his dearest homies left him, traded him in for the same type of money that he sold a slave for.
Right.
And when they approached him, the army that he brought in to take Jesus to his death, and his 11 other homies had slept on the job.
Right. Couldn't even stay awake.
And he had just come out of a place where he had bled from every pore. And then the same guy who would take him to his death, one of the soldiers, would go and cut his ear. These are the moments you literally see the characteristic of a human being. What happened next characterizes who that man was.
Right.
Well, what happened? Jesus, being the man that can do anything,
Yeah.
instead of saying, like I would have done much in my life, take his other ear off, let's go.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because the soldier came up and one of his homies grabbed the knife and cut off his ear. He's like, not on my watches. He's like barely awake probably. He's like, I'm sorry, Jesus. And then the other one's like sitting there with a bag of money after he just pointed them out. And he's like, what do I do with this?
Right. What now?
And then Jesus, in that what now moment, grabs the ear, puts it back on the head of the guy who he knows is going to kill him. And what we don't talk about is after.
Yeah.
That soldier goes home and has the paradigm shift experience. Imagine this. That guy goes home, sits at a table like this with his wife, and his wife says, How was work today, honey?
Yeah.
And what? Looks at his shirt and sees the blood everywhere.
Totally.
But looks, and he says, honey, I got my ear cut off today. And she's like, it's fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah. What do you mean?
And then imagine he would say, I think we got the wrong guy.
Mm.
And in those type of moments, your reaction to how you live in those dark times, I fully believe that the next decision that we make after the darkest of time defines our legacy, defines us.
Totally.
And then defines other people's lives. And in that story and in that depiction of everything that we just talked about, literally define the way I would decide to maneuver my life in my hard times.
That's a really impactful parallel. And I can't even imagine what you went through, right? This anger you kind of held inside and then had a moment that you were able to see things in a different light, and what that choice, it's a choice, what that choice changed for you, for everything, right? It's brought you to where you are today. I want to go back for a second. You had mentioned just briefly that doctors and people were putting limitations on you. You wanted to be an athlete, right? You wanted to fit in, belong, and you wanted to be an athlete. I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, wrestling was a good outlet for you, right? The anger you were holding inside, the not fitting in, was a good outlet. What kind of limitations did they put on you when you were like, I got to do this. I want to be an athlete?
Well, I just said I couldn't do it. First of all,
flat out couldn't do it.
Contact sports. Listen, Ben. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
When we do this, and doctors, I don't blame them.
Right.
They just got done with this crazy life-changing surgery,
right?
And they they want assurance.
Yes.
And they have insurance that
right.
they want to keep in place.
Totally.
I get the business side of it.
Right.
But I also get that they don't get me.
Right.
And my spirit and my soul.
Yeah.
And kill me now.
Yeah.
Kill me now if you're going to put limitations on me.
Right.
I'll put limitations on myself.
Right.
And I'll understand that's my doing, right? But don't tell me I can't do something. I'll kick against the pricks. I'll kick against what you tell me. And that's good and bad for me, I think. But in that moment, as a young boy, I had a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'll go do it.
Yeah. Something to prove.
Yeah, something to prove. And I did every sport.
Right.
So you asked the question, did that help me?
Yeah.
Wrestling specifically helped me. I loved every sport. As a young boy, my mom was like, what's your favorite sport? And it was literally the season that I was in, whether it was football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever it was, that was my sport.
Yeah.
But at some point, I realized if I was going to choose to buy into something and shoot to be the best in the world, then what sport was that?
Or were you physically?
For,
yes,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm 5'3", 140 pounds. In high school, it's a lot smaller than that.
Yeah.
Like 103 pounds I wrestled, 112, 119. I wasn't the biggest guy. I was the smallest guy on the teams, actually. And so wrestling I loved for that reason. It fit my body. But beyond that, and way more important, it was just me. And when my coaches in football said 20 push-ups for everybody, I knew the team didn't do 20 sometimes, and all of them definitely weren't doing more than 20.
Yeah.
And yet I was on that team. And I couldn't control the lackluster performance if they chose into that.
Right.
I loved wrestling because I had control. And that changed everything for me. Because in my life, I felt like I didn't.
There was so much you didn't have control over.
Yes. And my parents were spectacular. They are spectacular. And they said, Ben, you're going to choose one day, and you're going to realize one day that you can't focus on what you cannot control.
Yeah.
So they put me in everything. And this is my message for you parents out there. If you have a child, which it doesn't matter if they don't have a facial difference, you will have a child that will suffer from confidence.
Absolutely.
That is the biggest flex today is confidence.
Yeah.
And it is so, so attractive. When people are confident in their pain, out of their pain, with their disability, whatever that is, if they are confident and they have like some swagger about it, my parents gave me every opportunity to find that confidence. I'm literally, when you watch the documentary, it's about my parents putting me in clogging to singing something called Gingerbread Kids, piano, all these other things. I'm like,
try it all.
Yes. I'm like, what are you doing? They just literally wanted to give me an opportunity to find some swagger.
Yeah.
And then when I did, and now let me back up. Now, it doesn't just one day. It's like when you did.
Yeah.
It's how do you get that? So let's go back to your coach asking you to do 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
Because this is the difference. This is literally people are going to come to your podcast and they're going to want to come, not just to listen.
Yeah.
Everybody has so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully in this podcast today, when it goes around the world, they'll go away with ingredients of what to do to build an incredible life-changing recipe. This is one of them.
Okay.
I call it being disobedient to average. So I chose something to do.
Right.
I call it the 3 A's.
Okay.
I arrived. I arrived at the sport of wrestling. I arrived with a little bit of attitude. That's a second A.
Okay. Arrive and then attitude.
I arrived with some attitude to not just show up, but to freaking like go all in.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
In high school, there'd never been a 3-time state champion. On my Letterman's jacket, after I'd won one time, I put 3XSC on my Letterman's jacket.
It was coming true no matter what.
Well, that's the thing. It's not no matter what. That's the crazy thing about it. And people are like, you are psycho. I'm like, it's better than not being psycho.
Completely.
It's better than not being different. And then the last A is attempt. So you may not get it every time and you may not go undefeated in life all the time. Fear is going to
be there,
defeat you at some point. But don't let fear be undefeated.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I love that.
Shine, show up to fear, spit fear in the eyes 4 times, and swing hard.
Yeah.
When my coach would show up and say, 20 push-ups, I wasn't on a football team. I wasn't on a basketball team anymore. I had control.
Yeah.
Full control.
Right.
And so I chose to be disobedient to average because I knew at the end of every day, at the end of every tournament, I should say this, at the end of every tournament competition, they gave away 1 gold medal. And I knew that gold medal would not go to the person who did 20.
Right. Yeah.
And so as I showed up, I arrived every single time. I had some attitude. I had goals. I knew I was going to show up with I'm going to make this happen with passion and purpose and direction. And then I attempted to break myself break my records every time. All right, yesterday I got 21. Didn't feel so hot. I'm doing 23 today.
Right.
And so as people arrive in life to their goals, as they do it with some attitude, some swagger, not just show up to work.
Just to check a box, it's to show up with intention.
Show up to make a freaking difference.
Yeah.
Show up to shine. We ain't born to be behind a bushel like the Bible says, right? Get out, shine, and show up. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And then lastly, attempt. What does that mean? I used to hate the word attempt. Attempt, because I hate the word try. But if you succeed at everything that you do, you're probably not calling your shot big enough.
Right. Yeah, you're not. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Yeah, you're trying. You're just hitting a bunt or a base hit every time.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed win, right?
Yes, it's a guaranteed win. But I say attempt because show up and swing for the fences, and like Babe Ruth did, pointed to the fence in the World Series, and he hit it. But the cool thing about that too is Babe Ruth that year struck out 60-something times, and he hit 40-something home runs. We will strike out more than we hit the home runs, but point for the fence anyway.
Absolutely. I mean, you did on your shirt, on your jacket, right?
Yeah.
It was all the 3 A's were there.
Yeah.
How did you learn that mentality at such a young age?
My parents,
was your parents?
I can't say it enough.
Yeah.
My parents
They
are
instilled that.
incredible. There's a part of the documentary where I had just come home from a grocery store, and this is another life-changing moment. I'm getting ready to check out. I grab my favorite candy bar. It's just me. I'm young.
How old are you?
Elementary.
Elementary, great.
So I think I was in maybe 4th grade or something.
Okay.
So I get my Twix. I'm getting ready to check out. I'm second in line, and there's a man, an adult man, a little boy, and a little girl. And in Centerville, Utah, pretty much everyone, small enough neighborhood.
Yeah.
I didn't know this guy.
You do know him. Okay.
I didn't know him.
You didn't know him. Okay.
I didn't know him. And in this moment, it made the difference. Because people get used to you, and then they don't make fun of you.
Right.
In this moment, he pointed at me in front of my whole neighborhood. I felt traffic jam line behind me. And he grabbed his kids, and he said, I can't believe this kid goes out in public. No wonder why he's alone. He doesn't have any friends. Someone who looks like that shouldn't show their face to the world. And he laughs.
He's saying this to his kids.
Yeah, about me. And it wasn't quiet. I heard it, in other words. And as you can imagine, the cashier is hurry and try to go through the groceries, get him out of here. And when I thought that was the worst thing, he grabbed his groceries, put the kids behind him. And on the way out to the car, he says, don't go near him and don't touch him because he's probably contagious. Let's go. Get behind me. He was getting away from a monster, like a diseased human, right? And when I went home that day, you ask, how did it change? How did I get this mentality?
Yeah.
These are the moments that are cemented in my mind. I went home, locked myself in a bathroom, and tried just to look through all the drawers to figure out a thing to take away the difference, which is my face. I tried to figure out a way to take my face off because I felt like
that was the problem.
That was the issue. I felt like if that was gone, then life would be different.
Right.
Luckily, my mom breaks in the door before I decide anything. And she just melts on me, and we cry together. I told her everything that happened. And she stands me up in front of the mirror and reconstructs everything I thought about myself. And in that moment is what started to change my belief in myself. When I speak at the end, I say a chant, and the first thing I say is, now I choose me.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know the story, sometimes it can sound selfish. But I call it self-mastery because the majority of my life, I chose to be everybody else's version 2.0.
Right. It's a mirror, right? You're seeing everybody else's, version right back at you.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, as adults, as parents, we still do that.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could be Bobby or Billy or the Joneses.
The comparison game.
Yes.
I think back to your point of confidence being such a flex right now, the comparison game is worse than it ever has been because of social media, right?
Yes, so
and
true.
so that as a parent and as a kid, the comparison game now, that's why confidence is so hard. But for you, like, of course it was challenging. You had a mom that taught you different.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And you have siblings.
Yeah, I'm one of 7.
One of 7. Where do you fit in that line?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. How did your parents handle did they treat you any differently? Did they treat you just the same? Were they instilling this confidence in your siblings as well?
Yeah, everybody. They didn't treat me any different.
Of course.
In the sense that they didn't say, okay, they were like, no jobs for him.
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Good.
I was just one of the crew, and everyone was treated specially in the sense that we're special human beings. Let's shine. But everybody was treated the same type of expectations, and that was the biggest gift. And my siblings are so incredible.
Right.
I didn't know till later. So there's a movie that came out called Wonder.
Yep, I love
about
it.
a boy with a facial difference.
It's amazing.
And I didn't realize till later on, after seeing that movie, about how his sister went through all these things. And I never knew till later, actually till my documentary came out, my siblings did the tell all. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait, you did that? Like, you shielded me from this stuff in the best way?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we just never told you. So I have the best crew. Like, I have the best family. I'm just so fortunate.
What did that feel like, finding that out all these years later, right? I think a lot of times when we're growing up and we're faced with challenges and difficulties, it can be, we can be quite selfish, and not in a bad way, but we're so fixated on what's in front of us and what our challenges are. We don't realize what's happening around us, and that other people could be suffering or shielding or have their own, insecurities based on what you're going through. What did that feel like later in life to find that out?
Yeah, no, totally. It puts you in check, because I think everybody feels at some point in their life that they're the center of everybody else's world. And that's absolutely not true.
Right.
Everybody has their own fights and their own issues and problems. It put me in check. I'm like, holy cow, what type of self-deception did I have in thinking that I was just the center of everybody else's world?
Yeah. And
you're humbled, and you're I was so grateful.
Just gratitude beyond belief.
Yeah.
Made you closer, even more so now, I imagine.
Totally.
Gosh, that's incredible. Okay, so bullying. How bad did it get?
I think to the point that I wondered, like, if I wanted to just go on the next day at times. And if it was going to get any better, the biggest thing I feared about, I would say, was if I could I be loved?
Right.
Like, by a significant other.
I think a lot of times people that are extraordinary like you have to go through really challenging things and almost have something to prove. And in my personal experience, it feels like you're trying to prove that you're lovable or prove that you're enough.
Yeah.
Right? That you are an amazing person, and you go through so much hardship trying to prove that you're enough. Was there a shift at a certain point when you knew you didn't have to prove anything, that you knew your worth? Do you remember a time when it was like that shift kind of made sense?
Yeah. I felt a little bit different in the sense that, like, I knew I was different.
Yeah.
I had been told so many times, and I just accepted it.
Yeah.
The right way. I accepted it the wrong way too, but I think I got to the point to where I accepted it the right way, and I was tired of fitting in because I just didn't.
Right. You weren't meant to.
Yeah.
None of us are.
Yeah, I know, right? But I just wanted to be normal.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to fit in. I wanted to not stand out. I just didn't want to. But my mom told me so many times at a young age, Ben, like there's so many, and this is way before social media.
Yeah.
Everyone fights for attention. Everyone fights for attention. At some point, you're going to realize that you don't have to fight for that attention
You've had
all
it
the
all
time.
along. Yeah.
Because of your difference, you're just going to get it in the right way and the wrong way. So how are you going to decide to accept it? But to go back to your question, you said, how did you deal with that? How did you realize that you were enough? I felt like I needed to allow others to look beyond what I felt like the difference was and be so confident in the relationship because of who I was and the person that I was, that it was just like undeniable proof that that they could buy into that.
Yeah.
And I found that for me, that confidence came through sports. Like 100% it was through sports. And
That achievement.
That
Place to fit in.
That guess what? Like I'm gonna absolutely go in and make a name for myself and have that be such a powerful thing in my life that you're gonna wanna, almost like you're gonna wanna be with me. So it was like kind of a proving ground. I don't know how healthy it was.
It's healthy until it's not.
For me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it worked for me in that level because it gave me something to shoot for.
Right, a dream.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your career as a wrestler. It's astounding, right? You're an All-American in Division I wrestling. You have broken insane records. You're now a world champion. What did it cost to get to that point? Like, how did you get there?
It's funny you ask, what did it cost? So going into the Olympic trials in 2012,
Yeah.
I'd never done that before. And I
can't even imagine the pressure.
It was crazy. And I asked that same question.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's it going to take?
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Mark Schultz, world and Olympic champion. He's actually in a movie a few years ago. And Tatum, what's his name?
Channing Tatum
played him in the movie.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to talk about what part of life he's been in, and he's done a lot. I said, Mark, you've done it at the highest level.
Yeah.
I said, what does it take?
What does it take?
He said this. He's like, it takes everything. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? He's like, you have to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're psycho.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude? He said, get ready to commit suicide. I'm like, well, I need to live. I need to do this.
Yeah.
I still didn't get it. He's like, Ben, you got to commit physical suicide, social suicide, financial suicide. And in order to be the best in the world, not the best in your neighborhood, not the best in the district, in the state, in the country. If you want to be the best in the world, which he did, then that is what needs to happen. It's an obsession. And it was that for me. I remember losing. I had put the 3XSC, 3-time state champion, on my Letterman's jacket. In my junior year, having only won one time, but had declared it to the world, I called my shot.
Yeah. You were Babe Ruth.
Yeah, it was, I pointed for the fence. And I lost in regionals. And I remember that night at midnight, I ran. I was so mad. And I ran until I dry heaved. Kept just dry heaving. I'm just like, I ain't stopping. Nobody's outworking me. And that mentality of nobody's going to outwork me. This ain't going to happen. This ain't happening again. That state. It became an obsession.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a book called Good to Great. It's a fantastic book, highly recommended. There's 3 things that are really the big takeaways for me that I got out of it. And hopefully if the people who are listening to this podcast aren't just participators, hopefully they're people that like get into an industry and like
want to change
the industry, like want to push the boundaries, like completely paradigm shift things.
Right.
This book talks about how you do that. It talks about the top levels of leadership. And it talks about find something that you're passionate about, figure that out.
Yeah.
As clear as you can, as quick as you can. And then number 2, this is what I call the diaper challenge, because once you like really look into it, you want to put on a diaper because you're going to pee your pants.
Right.
Number 2 is figure out how you can be the best in the world at it and shoot for it. Don't just like talk about it, but talk about it and like go for it.
Go all in.
Like
no plan B.
Swing at the ball coming right at your head.
Yeah.
And then lastly, that says once you've found something you're passionate about, once you've got the gumption to be the best in the world at it, you'll get paid handsomely to do those things full time. So people who are thinking about, okay, what am I born for? What am I doing that's going to take the next 5 or 10 years of my life? Be passionate about it, shoot to be the best in the world at it, and then you'll be able to be paid enough to do it full time, which will allow you to have a shot at being the best in the world.
Wow. The obsession. I mean, there's a book, Relentless, too, and it follows like Kobe Bryant. It follows, that book is amazing, but it talks about that like obsession, right? And going all in and not having a plan B. And the work ethic it takes to get there. Not everybody understands, it's not just talent, it's talent and work ethic and obsession is that outcome you're talking about. So on this journey to being a world champion, was it lonely at times?
Oh, heck yeah.
Because of the obsession, right? You're literally, like he says, committing suicide in all of these realms of your life. How did you deal with the loneliness?
So one of my favorite quotes is 2 roads diverged in the woods and I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Yeah.
You will not get anywhere in life and achieve something worthwhile without being lonely.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody who wants to fit in is in one line and they ain't willing to be in the other.
Yeah.
And the other is lonely. The other is disobedient to average. The other is cold and has the question of, am I enough?
Yeah.
Like, does this failure define me? Nobody in life can ever get through life unscathed.
No.
And so at the end of the day, you just gotta be willing to, I mean, like Rocky says, take the hits and keep moving forward, right? Yeah. So the thing is that like you will be lonely. Yeah.
Standing out, right? Your movie,
yes.
Being different should be seen as a superpower versus like, something that isolates you.
But when you're isolated and when you're lonely, if you don't enjoy your company when you're lonely and it's just you, then like that's the issue.
How do you get there? For so many people, I think loneliness is seen as like a bad thing. Yeah. It's seen as this like, poor you, right? Yeah. But how do you get to that point where you enjoy your company and you know what you're fighting for and you know your worth? For people listening to this, how do you get there? Is it, I'm going to guess it's partially faith, right? Knowing your worth in that way. Your parents instilled that at a young age, but you had to choose that too, to see that. How do you get there?
You know the name Oprah?
Oh, yeah.
So she's in an interview and they say, she's like one of the most remarkable women, right?
Right.
And the interviewer says, people talk about you, Oprah, and they say you're full of yourself. And she sits there and she says, all right, but what would they have me be? empty of myself. So at some point we get to realize that being full of ourselves in all the right ways is so healthy.
Yeah. I love that.
When we're alone, I hope that we enjoy the person that we're looking in the mirror at.
Yeah.
How do you become full of yourself in the fulfillment sense?
Mm-hmm.
You look yourself in the mirror and you start communicating with that person real nicely, real kindly. Many people say that if we were to communicate how we communicate with ourselves, with our friends, we wouldn't have any.
Right.
And so I learned at a young age when my mom stood me in front of that mirror and she started redefining what I thought about me.
What you were
Ben,
seeing.
yes, Ben, you're different. And that means you're born to make a difference. And so I'd taken these words that meant negativity.
Yeah.
And she was like, that means it's positive. I took a curse and made it a gift. Mm-hmm. I am not on this podcast today if I'm not born with Crouzon Syndrome.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
It's just, and let me say, and some people probably listening are like, oh yeah, right. So I have to have Crouzon Syndrome. No, you have to take your trials and change them into absolute triumphs.
Yeah. Take your losses and turn them into wins.
Exactly. And so what is that? Well, for me, my curse was Crouzon Syndrome. So here's the biggest thing. Realize that life is working for you and not to you. Yeah. Realize that in those moments you can be a victim, not a victim.
Right.
And decide to freaking shine. And then once you get a little crazy enough, and realize that's not bad.
Yeah.
DJ Khaled was in an interview.
Yeah.
Everybody knows crazy DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
And he stopped the interview. He's like, hey, let me ask you a question, you know? And he's sitting back in his cool outfit. And he says, ask me if I'm crazy. And the interviewer's like, hey, DJ, are you crazy? And he's like, absolutely, I'm crazy. Once you realize that being different, standing out is an absolute, like, such a cool thing.
Yeah, it's a superpower.
It's intriguing.
Yes.
Then you shine who you are. So figure out your quirks.
Yeah.
Figure out the weird things about you and flex it.
Yes, absolutely.
Flex it.
Yeah.
And so what is that for somebody? I'll give you another example because I think people are listening. Well, what is that for me? I'll give you an example. I spoke to a summer sales company.
Yeah.
And this tall, handsome guy comes up to me. And I'm like, oh, I bet this guy kills it in sales just before we start communicating. And then as we started to communicate, I realized how unsure of him he was because of his stutter. Mm-hmm. He had a stutter.
Yeah.
And he's like, Ben, how am I supposed to, and he's stuttering this whole time.
Right.
How am I supposed to knock door to door and be a door-to-door salesman?
Mm-hmm. With a stutter.
With a stutter.
Yeah.
I said, bro, are you willing to go down this journey with me right now?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you have social media?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, open it up. So he opens it up. I'm like, put the edit on your profile right here. He's like, okay. I'm like, I want you to write this down. And I want you to like own this and flex it. And this will change your life. He's like, okay. And I prepped him for this about 5 minutes previous. I said, write down that you're the world's top stuttering salesman.
I love it.
And he looked at me.
Like, how?
And he says, oh, I can be the best in the world at that.
Oh, that
because
was a paradigm shift.
It was his paradigm shift.
Yes.
And we were getting ready to call his shot. And we're getting ready to put the 3XSC on his jacket.
Yeah.
For him, it was on his social media. Instead of running away from a stutter, he jumped into it. And this is the next best part. So we did it. And
Yeah.
He put it on social media.
Amazing.
And I said, when is a time that you feel like you can be at the doorstep, or not even at the doorstep, but when in life do you feel like you can portray and present your message the best? He's like, Ben, I can communicate the best when I'm singing.
Wow.
I do not stutter when I sing.
Wow.
I said, bro, make t-shirts, write the best stuttering, singing salesman in the world.
Wow.
I said, and I will buy from you every day.
Amen.
If you approach like that, you own it and you call that your niche. Everybody in life gets to figure out what they've been cursed with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And realize that that is an absolute gift.
Yeah.
If we have that paradigm shift.
Gosh, that's beautiful. I think for anybody listening, that is such valuable advice. Find what makes you unique and turn it around to be the thing that makes you shine. Oh, you are an inspiration. So you go through your wrestling career, and then, to put this lightly, you're a very successful business person, right? You are in real estate. You've flipped over 200 houses. You have 100 plus rentals. How did you go from being a top world champion wrestler into business, and how did that shift happen?
It happened by failing a lot.
I love that.
And I'm just really open. So
I love that. If you're not failing, you're not trying. That's what we tell our kids,
Yep. And I remember, I think in life, a lot of people live by default and they get in the path and they go where life tells them to go. And that was me for many years. I remember going to college, and though I was so grateful for my education, it taught me to work for other people. Mm-hmm. And so I did just that. Mm-hmm. I remember getting in a small family business, and I'll never forget the day. It was July 1st. And I go down to the office of the business I was working at with my brother and my dad. And I walk in the office, and that day my brother and my dad fire me.
Oh my God.
And if it's not bad enough that you suck at your job, your parents or your dad and your brother,
the people you trust the more, yeah, they have your back no matter what.
Yes. And so my first victim mentality was like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But then realizing that was absolutely for me. And I now go back to my brother and my dad. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
For allowing me to find me.
For allowing you to fly.
I was in a job that I didn't like. And when you don't like something, you're not going to be the best in the world at it. Mm-hmm. And so they did just that. They cut my wings. I walked out the door that day, and it was weird. Even though I just got fired at a job that I sucked at, I got fired for sucking. And I didn't even like it. That's really bad. It's double sucking.
It's pride, yeah.
And I remember walking out the door with all the stuff to my car and feeling good though.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Like a little bit of a burden had been lifted a little.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And I went back to my wife, and this is how cool my wife is. And I said, babe, I got fired today. She said, so how are we going to celebrate?
Oh, she knew. She was waiting for you to just really dig into yourself. Yeah. Oh.
She said, Ben, this ain't a dead end.
This is a beginning.
This is a new beginning. Oh. So let's celebrate the new beginning.
Oh, so your wife, Nicole, sounds like the most amazing person.
She is.
One of your fears in life was ending up alone, right? That was a great, great fear of yours. How did you meet? How did you guys fall in love?
Yes.
Give me a quick brief story about that.
Utah Valley University. She runs track.
Yeah.
And
so you had that in common, the athletic drive. That's a huge part of you.
Yes. I saw her across the way, and she has an identical twin sister.
Amazing.
And so it's hard not to not recognize them, and they stand out. And I remember she messaged me on social media, and she says, Ben, just wanted to friend you and this and this and that. And I responded back, hey, me and my buddies are going to be going out, and you wanna come hang out. And this is how she responded. This defines who she is. She says, well, it depends. is this a hangout or is this a date?
Yes, girl. The intention was set.
Yes. And I remember I'm like, oh, freak. What do I say?
Yeah. You knew she meant business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call my shot.
Yes.
And I said, no, this is definitely a date. And from that moment on, we hung out. One of our first dates was we played racquetball and she beat me.
Yes.
And so I knew I either hated her or I loved her.
It was probably so secretly attractive, right? It was like, you're so attractive, but I'm also pissed.
I know. I was so mad. I'm like, I love you.
Yes.
And this is what I tell people about getting into relationships. I said, find someone who you know is going places without you. And then go with them and just even have it be better.
Right.
And luckily, she felt the same about me.
Of course.
And so we were both on rocket ships, we felt, and we just wanted to be on the ship together.
And support each other.
Yeah.
You both could see the vision. You are super open about your guys' struggle to bring a family into this world. And I've watched your videos and I cried watching them. They're beautiful. 10 years. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of where you're at now?
For sure. She's one of 9 kids. I'm one of 7. Family's huge.
Family's everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So we grew up with our best friends being our family.
Yeah.
Long story short, that was our identity and that's what we wanted.
Yes.
And so we're like, how many kids you want? 5 sounds good, 6 sounds good, whatever. And then you get into trying to have kids naturally and it doesn't happen. Oh, okay. Well, a couple of years goes by. 5 years go by. And you want to start your kids.
Yeah.
My wife's not getting younger. I want to start a family. And then you go and you do in vitro, IVF.
Right.
You have some assistants trying to have a kid.
And there's so much success out there. So you're like, why wouldn't this work?
Yeah. And the doctor's saying, well, we don't know what the issue is. So let's do this. And 4 IVF cycles happen. A miscarriage of a boy, a miscarriage of a girl. And so we jump into adoption. And
you say that lightly though, but like 4 rounds of in vitro is so expensive, but the emotional toll of that not working, the emotional toll of thinking every time that, is a possibility and then to not have it work out. Talk about learning how to surrender, right?
Yeah.
The surrender portion of that experience and trying to, stick to your we need to bring a family in this drive. So 4 failed attempts and then you get into adoption.
Yeah. And you're so right. Like we could spend 5 hours talking on this topic.
Absolutely.
And the fact that this is a normal thing in today's society not to have kids or to have issues having kids. And I didn't want to go into adoption.
Yeah.
Because I wanted my own kids.
I think naturally.
I want my,
my
own
blood.
I want my own blood. And I have 50% chance of passing on Crouzon Syndrome.
Right.
But this was the moment, and this was before we were married. I asked Nicole, I'm like, you need to know about Crouzon Syndrome before you commit to this.
Yeah.
Because there's 50% chance that our kids will have Crouzon Syndrome. And she said this. She said, who better to raise a kid with Crouzon Syndrome than us, Ben?
Amen.
That's how cool she is.
You talk about knowing the mentality, right? So that wasn't a fear for her.
No, and that was the moment I'm like, I always feared about, would someone love me?
Accept you for who you are.
She just didn't accept it. She wanted it.
Yeah. She saw it as a strength.
Yes. So the IVF was not it was no, we really couldn't have kids naturally. It wasn't to stay away from that. But I wanted kids. But long story short, we go into adoption and also a paradigm shift for me, this is all about paradigm shifts, was realizing what changed for me was that realizing Jesus Christ was adopted by Joseph.
Gosh, that's a beautiful point.
I'd never seen that. I'd never realized that.
Right.
Joseph wasn't his father.
No. He took him in as his own.
But he ended up being his father here on earth, right? And so long story short, that was a paradigm shift for me. I'm like, dang, man, if Jesus was adopted, I could adopt, I bet.
Yeah.
And so we went in and we got connected to a mom, and 8 months later, after receiving her last paycheck, she wrote us an email and she said, I'm keeping the baby. And if that wasn't hard enough, we do it again. And 6 months later, we find out through investigative studies that our birth mom of the second adoption that we had gotten connected with, she stopped showing up to doctor's appointments, and so she'd placed the same baby girl that she was pregnant with 2 other families, and she was triple dipping, and my attorney missed it.
Oh my gosh.
And so that day, I remember my wife just pounding on my chest as I just held her, and we just cried together.
Yeah.
And she said, why? I feel like it's like a miscarriage, a baby getting ripped out of me again. And but that day we chose a new beginning, not a dead end. And I remember being angry at God that day and looking up and being,
why me?
Like, why this? Why us?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just me anymore. I've overcome Crouzon Syndrome. Now I have this lady in my arms, bawling her eyes out, feeling like you just ripped a baby from her stomach.
Yeah.
And this would change my life again. That moment, that night, something would happen. We would go to bed angry. The next morning, we would get a phone call from an adoption agency that we had never used here in Utah, heart-to-heart adoption. And they said, last night, there was a boy that was born. And this is right in the midst of us exclaiming to God, why us?
Depths of despair.
Like, God is
good.
He is good, and he's
in the details.
He's a jokester.
Yeah.
He's a jokester. We're just like, come on, that wasn't so funny.
Yeah.
And he's up there wiping his tears of laughter and tears of sorrow.
Like, watch this.
And tears of empathy. Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, here's the wand. Boom. And we go 15 hours later, we pick up a little boy. And,
the next day.
The next day, we're on a flight, and we're parents. And if that wasn't enough, we'd go in and sign documents. And the night before, I couldn't get sleep, and the name Liam came to me, which was not one of the names
you'd thought about. Yeah.
And we show up, and the adoption mom, the birth mom, I should say, the birth mom had signed all the documents. She said, I hope you don't mind. They just told me to write down a name. I chose a name that meant protective warrior. I've always loved this name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what name did you choose? And she said, that protective warrior means Liam.
Oh my gosh.
And so, like, I say that because there's going to be times that you're not going to want to walk forward. Like, how do you choose to be a father and a mother of a child you've never met in a matter of hours?
Right.
The adoption agency said this, and it wasn't it wasn't heart to heart. It was my adoption agent that we just lost 2 babies with. They said, you have a matter of minutes to take this. Send the $15,000 if you want the information. Like, they're such pricks. It was unbelievable the way they did business.
Wow.
They said, otherwise someone else will get this baby. In a matter of moments, we had to make a decision. I was so afraid I wouldn't connect with this child.
Yeah.
God will put in your way as you walk forward and have the step of faith, signs.
Yes.
This was a sign, the name Liam.
Yeah.
If that's not a sign enough, as you walk forward in faith, as you walk forward with a victor mentality, as you walk forward just with a little bit of courageousness, but a heavy freaking diaper.
Yes.
Because it's going to be scary.
Yeah, strap on.
And you're going to pee your pants.
Yes.
Stuff like this will happen. We get out of that door. Like, talk about like just miracle after miracle after miracle when you are tenaciously patient for something that you're really wanting, and you keep having new beginnings and not dead ends. You go forward with a victim mentality, not a victim mentality. We walk out, and remember, we had a miscarriage of a boy and a girl.
Yep.
At the end of the hallway, was my adoption director, Donna, amazing woman. And she's crying at the end of the hallway, and she hangs up the phone, and she's wiping her tears, and she's like, she looks at my wife, she's like, Nicole, you're a twin, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking inside my mind, I'm like, where are you going with
Where is this going? Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. She's like, did you like it? She's like, I loved it. She said, I just got off the phone with a birth mom that lives 20 minutes away. She heard about your story. She heard about your 2 miscarriages. I know you just adopted a boy. Didn't you have a miscarriage of a girl too? Well, yeah. Well, this little baby girl would be 5 days younger than Liam. What do you say?
Oh my gosh.
And
Not only saying yes to 1, but as you're walking out, saying yes to 2.
yeah, and my family had no clue that we were even out of town.
Oh my gosh. And for all of those listening, go watch his YouTube video on how he told his family, because it is absolutely genius, insane, the most beautiful thing I've ever watched.
So when we put it on YouTube,
It's
and my
amazing.
editor did such a good job.
Yeah.
And I remember it like started getting like views.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this has 3,000 views.
How could it not?
And then it's like 300,000.
Yeah.
So over all of social media, it went crazy on social
Yeah.
media. It's been seen like almost 90 million times.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's
And
a beautiful story.
This is the best part about it. We still get people that comment about how we've had a comment literally from I call it over the pond, but from a different country. She said, I decided not to have an abortion because I saw this video.
Oh,
Because I never knew that someone would love a baby that I could birth
right.
like your family did. I placed it for adoption, or I kept my baby. And but to kind of bring the story full circle, when you're celebrating your wins, there's always going to be someone in another part of their life that won't be willing to celebrate you.
Right.
Love them anyway.
Yes.
As you go and watch that film or watch those YouTube movies, read some of the comments.
I will.
As the majority of all of them are celebrating, you're going to see some that says, oh yeah, of course, I wouldn't have his baby either. Good choice, wife.
Oh.
Because they would look like this. And then they post memes, or they say, oh, of course, I would never have his babies because of the way he looks. And so we've had some really rad moments
Yeah.
where my wife gets all the alerts from YouTube,
Yeah.
and she'll email me the alert, and she'll be like, go get him.
Oh.
And I have a chance to just love on him. And she says, Ben, they need some love. Go love on him. And so I'll give you this story that will kind of hit home. There was a comment, and a lady said, she said, I posted this video and I erased it. Hopefully you didn't see it, but I saw it. It was of a little boy on the sloth in the Goonies?
Yeah.
It was a little version of him,
Yeah.
a 3-year-old version. And she had said, I wouldn't have his kids either because they would look like this. And then she erased it. And this is what allowed me to love on people more in these hard moments. When I would really want to punch him, right?
Of course.
She said, Ben, I erased it because I saw how you responded to these other people. She said, I was angry. And if you had all the right to come back at me
Yeah.
in an angry way, and everyone would have supported you. She says, but I erased my comment because I saw how kind you were to other people. I want to tell you why I did that. And this is what changed my life in responding kindly to people who are mean to you, because hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. This is how she was hurt. Ben, I saw the video days after I had lost my boy of 2.5 years old. He just didn't wake up one morning.
Oh my gosh.
Ben, it hit home to me because my boy's name was Liam.
Oh my.
And she said, when you were gaining a boy, Liam, I was losing a boy. And she said, thank you for being kind. And so in life, as people are having their dead ends,
Yeah.
don't make that dead end worse.
Yeah.
Love on them, allow it to be a new beginning, pour into them, allow them to choose them, allow them to realize that there are people around that love them or that they can be loved.
Right.
And life will be different for you. And it will be an impact, and you'll stand out and you'll be able to shine in those people's lives as well.
It changes you as a person being able to respond like that, but it also changes them too. It's this like full, beautiful circle. And to bring it back to your point at the beginning of the podcast, it's what Christ would do, right? Like that's his example, and you're following his example, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So you're here in St. George and you have your movie premiere tomorrow. How pumped are you?
So pumped.
You've already had one in Hollywood. Talk to me about what that has felt like. You have a movie coming out called Stand Out.
Yeah.
I want to know what it's felt like to have this whole legacy blown up on the big screen about you, the highs, the lows. Like, what has that been like? What's that process?
So crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. Like, it's been so nuts. It's weird. Like, you're literally watching like yourself on the screen, and you don't know if anybody is going to ever like occupy a seat. And you'll be like, oh my gosh. And it's not like about a fake story of a dinosaur.
No, it's your
literally-
life.
And it's like, if people don't show up, like, how do you not take that personal? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you do it anyway.
Yes.
And it's been a life-changing experience. And first of all, I just want to thank my producers, my director. His name is Tanner Christensen. And he has spent like mind-numbing type of hours on this.
Wow.
We've been working on it for 2 years. And T.C. Christensen, his father, is just like an OG in the space. Wow. The other night, we just celebrated a movie he's coming out with called Raising the Bar.
Amazing.
An Alma Richards story about the first ever Olympic champion.
I've seen previews for
Yes.
it. It looks incredible.
First ever Olympic champion from Utah. And in that same meeting at the theater, we were celebrating my other producer's movie that just came out this month. And he's breaking records. He has a movie that came out called Minecraft.
Okay.
With Jason Momoa, Jack Black.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes.
he is just killing it. His name's Jared Hess.
Oh, just Jared Hess.
And so Jared was there with us as we were celebrating these people. And so Tanner and TC and Jared, they're type of humans that celebrate each other. And those are the type of people I want to be around.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're pouring into my story and celebrating me now is just like so humbling. I've had those type of individuals get put into my life to take this to the world. And so we take it to Hollywood and we're like, this is like a feel-good overcome story. This is crazy. We're the first and only ones to sell out at the beginning.
Wow.
We end up selling it out twice. We get awards in Hollywood. We bring it to Utah. We sell it out again.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to Iowa next week. I got to fill a 600-person theater. I think we're going to sell it out.
Yeah.
I'm just like so happy. I was so terrified coming into this, kind of like the adoption. God, like how am I going to find someone? Because we do some reenactments in some parts of the movie. And I'm like, how are we going to find a kid to play little Ben?
The right person.
The right person.
Yeah.
After literally going throughout the world, because we're willing to fly him in, we're willing to make this happen. We want to take this to the world. This won't be a neighborhood thing.
Yeah.
And I get a call from a family after we're like a weeks away from filming.
Stress.
Like,
You're so stressed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yes.
And Crouzon Syndrome is already rare enough. Like in the movie Wonder.
Yeah.
That's a kid with no facial difference. It's makeup. to try to have this hit home.
Right.
And this family calls me. They're called, their name is the Fieldings. Jordan and Annalie are the parents. And they're like, Ben, we've been watching you for a while. Would you please come over for dinner? I'm like,
What?
Where do you guys live?
Yeah.
And they're 20 minutes away from me.
Stop.
And they're like, we want you to meet our boy. His name's Colton. He's 5 years old and he has Crouzon Syndrome.
Oh.
I come in the door. They have no idea that I'm filming a documentary.
They don't.
They have no clue. And I see this boy that looks like me.
Yeah.
And then he acts like me.
Oh.
And a few weeks later, I'm like, hey, yo, Fieldings, would you be like open to this? And they weren't just open to it, they were all in.
Ugh.
And as people see the documentary, they're gonna see some times that are really, really hard to tell.
Yeah.
And they were into it, and they knew it was way bigger than us.
Yeah.
And Colton and Annalie and Jordan and his family and his siblings. So his siblings played the two kids in the store.
Oh.
And so it just was like a full circle moment. And they're going to be here tomorrow.
Oh, for the premiere.
For the premiere. They weren't able to be in Hollywood because Colton was in the middle of his facial surgery.
Wow.
And so it was a gift. Colton's surgeries had been delayed and delayed and delayed, and they didn't know why. They thought it was a dead end. And little did they know, because he looks different. People will see tomorrow that he looks different than he did in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he just had a surgery and it wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
And little did they know it was all on purpose.
God is in the details.
God is so good.
That is so beautiful. My gosh. You know, as you're talking and you're talking about this person you've become, right? You're loving people, choosing to love people that are, you know, maybe not nice or who are choosing to hate on you. I have this theory I want to share with you. Everyone knows about karma, right? What you put out there comes back.
Yeah.
But it's usually told in a negative light, right? It's usually like,
Yeah.
oh, karma's going to get you.
Yeah, so true.
But I think about this in as karma's like nice sister. I call it the boomerang principle, that the good that you put out there comes back full swing, right? The gratitude you pour into other people comes back. The love you show for people comes back. And you're talking about these huge directors and producers that you want in your corner because they're good people, right? But I don't think if you hadn't become the person that you are, you would have attracted them, right? It's this like universal energy that happens. The more you work on yourself, the more you pour good into other people, the more comes back.
So good.
You know, like it is, I think you have control over that in your life. I think the more energy that's positive you can put out there, your life can be better because of it.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally know what you're saying, but I think we get it wrong sometimes.
Tell me.
I think some parents get married, they have kids, and then they're like, I need to stop working on myself because it's selfish.
Ugh.
That is so wrong.
Yeah.
That is so absolutely backwards. Selfish is literally self-mastery if you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the quote by a friend of mine, Ed Milet. He says, one of the most insidious forms of child neglect, when I hear that, I hear child abuse,
Yes.
is parents not living their dreams and not achieving their potential and their greatness. And so as a parent, our kids are not just listening. Actually, they listen a heck of a lot less. They watch. They see, and then they do. Parents, live your freaking dreams.
Yeah.
My challenge is for everyone out there, what is your 3XSC?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
What are you putting on your jacket? What are you willing to tattoo across your forehead for everybody else to see? And then what are you calling your shot for? Because your kids, it's monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Imagine your kids seeing you live half potential. They won't know any different.
Yeah.
They won't know how to live if you ain't doing it.
Yeah.
If you're not disobedient to average, they won't know how to be disobedient to average.
Right.
What we do is what we attract. And so, man, I couldn't agree with you more. And you're doing that.
Yeah.
And your husband's doing that. You guys are shining. You're killing it.
Thank you.
You've just like designed like such radical businesses.
Thank you.
We're here at your business
Yeah.
in St. George. At your salon, you've done like incredible hair extensions. Like you guys have put on the diaper.
Gone all in.
And I'm telling you what, like you're just like living such a rad dream. And so your kids, you have kids?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How many kids you got?
2 girls.
You have 2 baby girls that are looking up at dada, looking up at mama, and they don't need to be taught by words much. If you're living, because your actions are louder than the words.
Yeah.
And so they're like, look at what mom and dad are doing. That gives confidence.
It's beautiful. It's incredibly beautiful. And I think it's really going to hit home with these listeners, you know, to live your dream and to believe in yourself and to turn your pain into your purpose, you know, and make that paradigm shift multiple times like you've done in your life. Ben, we're going to wrap things up, but I just, from my point of view, your movie is called Standout, and I can't wait for everybody to watch it. Cannot wait. When does it come out again?
We're negotiating with some people right now.
Okay.
It will come out. We don't have dates.
Okay.
But I think it will be out later this year.
Okay.
And I think it will probably be in theaters, and then it will be streaming after that.
Holy cow. So watch out for that. Watch out for Standout. And to your point that the name couldn't be any better. You're not a standout because of what you've accomplished. You're a standout because every day you choose courage over comfort, right? You choose purpose over pain, and you choose to pour into other people love and goodness, and it's coming back full swing. And I can't wait for people to see that on film. You're an incredible person. For everybody listening, can you tell them where they can find you?
Yeah. Social media is the best. Ben Kjar. My last name is Kjar. But you say it Care, like Care Bear. So go on to social media, and my website's benkjar.com. And we're excited to share with the world a little bit more about how we've chosen to stand out and not fit in, and chosen to call our shot and go after it. So this is part of it, like to meet people like you and see what you're doing to stand out and just like share light to the world.
Yeah.
Like just thank you for creating space for me and our story.
Thank you.
I
for
really
being
appreciate
here.
it.
Thank you. Thank you for being on this podcast, How We Do. And you've shown people how you do a lot of hard things and how you've just shined, you know, in this beautiful world. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on How We Do. Your executive producer and host is Meg Carlisle. Your co-creator and producer is Ryan Carlisle. And today's episode was filmed, edited, and directed by Braden Ball. You know how we do.